The idea of eating only one meal a day scares a lot of people. And today I'm going over my feeding logistic while on OMAD, one meal a day, and still support my active lifestyle, where I lift 3 days a week and I run 3 to 5 days per week, a little bit over 30 miles a week, to run my marathon in late August and early September. On a day where I only lift or run, I eat within 1 hour of the exercise. It could be 11 o'clock in the morning, it could be 3 o'clock, it could be 5 o'clock. It doesn't matter when I exercise. What matters is I feed it within that 1 hour window. That's about the time it takes for me to prep and cook the meal. On a day where I do 2 days, where I lift in the morning and run in the evening, or I run hard exercise, hard run in the morning, and run easy run in the evening, I will eat twice. That's again is about within an hour of the first exercise, within an hour of the second exercise. Either way, my feeding window is very intentional. It's purposeful. I only eat to feed and support my body needs. For 80% of the time, my body only needs one meal a day because I only run or exercise one time per day. Other days where I want to do twice a day, then I support it with 2 meals. But again, it is purposeful feeding, not just eating whatever whenever. This goes back to the 80-20% rule again. 80% of the time I eat 1 meal a day, OMAD. 20% of the time I eat 2 meals a day, or 90-10, or whichever my body need for that week, for that day. So it's not a strict 1 meal a day, it's supporting my body. So if it's 1 meal a day, great. If it's 2 meals a day, great. At this point, I don't see myself needing 3 meals a day. What do I do for the pre-workout? Do I eat anything at all? Majority of the time, I don't eat anything before workout. So when I have a lift day where it's not that demanding, or I feel very energized before I go lift, or when I go on easy run, recovery run, or even a moderate tempo run, I don't have to eat before I go out for those runs. And the only time I would eat before, not necessarily a full meal, more like a quick snack, is when I have my long run, my over 2 hour run, or on my leg day, or the day where I feel I need an extra energy boost. In that case, I will eat one banana, 1 serving of mixed nuts, and sandwich that in between sourdough bread. That's it. And as far as liquid goes, I would drink coffee, pour about 1 serving of honey, and about a quarter of teaspoon of Himalayan salt. And that is just to give me the electrolyte that I need and the extra carb that I potentially need because it's a longer run. But again, even the pre-workout snack is still intentional. I only eat based on the body requirement. The way I practice time-restricted intermittent fasting, OMAD, is not that strict, only 1 meal a day. My main meal can be only 1 meal a day, but I can add in that little snack as needed based on the activity, based on the demand for the day. When I do eat 2 meals a day, it is still within that window. So that's my feeding logistic. Now the question that some of you may have is, how do I have the energy to lift or run without feeding myself before the lift or before the run? And how do I have that energy to be able to still be active with just 1 meal a day and sometimes 2 meals a day? Really, the answer is really simple. Our body is a hybrid machine. It can run on fat, it can run on carbs. It can turn our fat into ketone, which supplies the energy to our body's need, or it can convert carb into glucose, or it can also take stored glycogen for energy. It's a very awesome hybrid machine. But traditionally, because here in America we practice a standard American diet where we constantly eat, we have a high dose of carbs all the time, our body has exactly what it needs and more. So it never really have a chance to even tap into the body fat. So the majority of Americans are not fat adapted. They are heavily relying on carbs. That's why when you don't eat for a little while, you start to feel lightheaded. your blood sugar levels start to drop. But for those of us that teach our body to fuel using both fuel sources, we can go on for hours without feeling that sugar crash, without feeling the need to fill in the tank. So by practicing OMAD, I have sustained energy throughout. So when I do go out for a run without eating, my body convert fat into energy, convert fat into ketone. That ketone provide the energy that my body needs. And when I run in zone 2, conversational pace, that's mainly fat source. It doesn't need glycogen. It doesn't need carb. It's only when you have high intensity run, that's when the body starts to tap into glucose in the bloodstream or glycogen from the liver or the muscle cell. But low to moderate run, fat is more than sufficient. As long as you have body fat, you have the source that your body needs, the fuel source that your body needs to support the activity. So for those of us that are fat adapted, that are not heavily relying on carbs, we can run for hours the whole day without having to fuel our carb tank. But for those of you that have not practiced and allow our body to convert the fat into fuel effectively, you're always going to feel tired. You feel like you need to top it off before you do anything. And trust me, before I was on OMAD 1 meal a day, I felt that I couldn't do any work. I couldn't go to sleep until I have some sort of food in my stomach. But since I adopted the OMAD 1 meal a day protocol back over 2 years ago, I can do work, I can run, I can lift without needing to have food in the stomach, because my body is effective at tapping into fat, turning it to ketone, turning it to fuel. So my body can use both sources effectively. By having this metabolic flexibility, it is going to help me come race day when I run that marathon. Because my body is so flexible at using those two sources, I anticipate I will not hit the wall early on mile 16 or mile 20. Because if I do my low heart rate zone training correctly, majority of run will be tapping into my body fat, and only a small portion will be tapping into glucose and glycogen. What I hope you take away from this episode, when someone say they practice OMAD 1 meal a day, don't assume that is malnutrition. Don't assume that is another form of eating disorder. Because whether you eat 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, or 3 meals a day, what matters is the type of food that you feed your body. Prioritize protein, mix it fruits and vegetables, and eat to support the body's need. Nothing more, nothing less. If you do that, then your body have exactly what it needs to survive, not just survive, to thrive. As a disclaimer, I am not a doctor, a nutritionist, or a physical therapist. Before you try out any new exercise or new nutrition, please consult with the professionals. I am only sharing my experiments and how it has been working for me. You can apply some, you can apply none, or you can apply all. It's all up to you.